Welcome to Tuesdays with Terry. We're excited this week. Another great episode with some exciting guests that are going to talk about, again, all things Aquinas, but also two particular programs and two particular interesting areas we have on campus here. So episode 7, we're ready to go. So my first guest today, welcome, Ian.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's great to have you on the show.
Appreciate it.
I know we've talked about this a few times.
Yes. Finally got the call.
You got the call. You're here.
Yes.
Yeah. And so tell me a little bit about, one of the things that we always like our guests to talk about is how did you get to Aquinas? Like, tell me kind of like what got you here to be involved, with OLLI?
Well, I think the journey starts 15 years ago because I grew up in Kentwood, about 10 minutes south of here, and came on campus for a campus tour. I knew I didn't want to go very far for school because I liked being close to home. I was smart to go to pretty much any school I wanted to, but I didn't want a big school feel. I knew I wanted to be somebody.
Yep.
So came here. My mom worked at Blodgett at the time, so half a block down the street. I was very familiar with campus.
Yeah.
Came for a walk, felt home, fell in love, never left. So it was an immediate choice to come here. I didn't even apply anywhere else. I knew I wanted to come to Aquinas. Spent 4 great years here. And my senior year at Aquinas, I realized I kind of had a shift in what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't want to start over. I didn't have any credits that would have applied to a teaching certification. So I asked my professor at the time, who was Molly Patterson in the political science department, former professor here, said, how do I get teaching experience without having to start over? And I knew I didn't like kids, so I didn't want to be a K-12 educator. And she said, well, have you heard of the OLLI program before? And I said, no, what's that? Of course, being here 4 years, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Kind of been a secret kept on the far east side of campus. And she got me connected with the director at the time, Shyla Pantlin, my predecessor. And they gave me, I said, I have a class I could teach for you. It's 8 weeks long, and it's about the Constitution. I compare it to a hamburger. What do you think? And they said, we have no idea what to take of this kid, but we're going to give him a chance. They put me in the catalog for a free class, and 11 years later, I'm still teaching there.
Yeah.
And just this past April, I was able to succeed Shyla and join as the director of the program.
Okay.
So it's been a blast to get to know the people over the last 11 years there as a presenter, and now to transition as the director has been great process.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about OLLI. Just kind of give us the overview and further information. Yeah.
I tell people OLLI is college, but it's only the fun elective classes that you couldn't take. So when you're busy getting your major, there's things you have to. I was a math major and a political science major. There were a lot of classes I didn't want to have to take, but I did. And here at OLLI, it's a program for people 50 years and over that are looking for a chance to have college-level courses without the pressure of tests, grades, writing papers, just learning for the sake of fun and learning. And our classes are exciting. They're about current events, arts, music, literature, the sciences, technology, anything you can think about, we're talking about. And sometimes they're issues that we have no other place to explore other than at our program. And so we bring in great presenters from all over. We have a presenter actually next week coming from California, from the UC or the Cal State program. So we have a great opportunity to connect that way. And just an opportunity for people to continue to learn when they have a passion for it. I don't think it ever goes away. And when you retire, you kind of miss that community that you belong to as either with a company that you work with, or as your kids move away, your family spreads apart. OLLI is a great community for people to come and learn together in a healthy way.
So are you still doing the Constitution class?
I haven't in a while. I shifted to movies shortly after that. I'm a huge movie fan. That was inspired by a class here at Aquinas with a late professor, Andrew Jeffchak, who was a columnist for the Grand Rapids Press for many, many years, writing film reviews, and fell in love with that process and with filmmaking. And I turned that into my passion. And we're celebrating this year will be our 11th annual Oscar party at OLLI, which has been something I've loved doing for my time at the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have, when you're thinking about the Oscars this year, do you have any insider info of what you think's going to be like toward the top?
You know, we try every year to predict our winners.
Yep.
And OLLI has notoriously been wrong. Of the 11 years we voted for our best picture winner, and we have only picked the winner once.
Out of
in that
11
list.
years, yeah.
So I've learned that we have a different process than Hollywood for what we pick as our favorite. I'm a huge fan of Conclave this year. I read the book and very excited to see how that performs this award season. Yeah.
Excellent. And one of the programs that I've heard about is that I think was done this fall was the Apple Crawl.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what that was? That
Yeah.
sounds exciting.
Well, you've heard of a bar crawl before. Well, our audience also loves beer, but we figured, how can we make this a little bit more plausible for a day trip? Something that we could do together with our group. And it was the idea of one of my colleagues, Susan Koloff, who said, let's travel around to different apple orchards in Michigan, because Michigan's one of the largest suppliers of apples in the country. And there are many great family-run farms here in the Grand Rapids area in West Michigan. So we actually reserved a trolley and took about 30 members of our program all around. We stopped at 4 different apple orchards. So we got to see, one, how apples are processed first from just picked right off the tree, to hybrid types of apples and how they're growing different types of species of apples, to apple processing into cider. And we got to explore the entire process over the course of a day. And that's one of the many OLLI experiences and OLLI tours that we take. So we try to get people out of the classroom from the traditional style of classroom learning to get their hands dirty, and they got to pick apples. They got to drink the cider fresh from the processing plant. So it was a really cool opportunity to explore something that we all take advantage of and take for granted sometimes here in the fall, when we just think coffee, or when we think cider and donuts is just a common place for everyone. It's not. So it was a chance to dive into that a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm excited to anything coming up kind of in this winter. I say winter/spring.
Yes.
Anything coming up that, a lot of the OLLI members are excited about? Are you seeing like a strong response from?
There's a great class from a certain Provost that's coming
yes.
out.
You see, I kind of laid that out.
It was
there
a great,
yes,
thank you for the
like
segue.
That beach ball,
Yes,
yeah.
I guess I can throw it back to you for more on the details, but we're excited. We've already got 40 people registered for your class.
Oh, really? Wow.
Talking about attachment theory.
Yeah.
Some of your scholarship.
Pretty excited about that. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into talking about basically interpersonal connections, what's the basis for attachment theory, and looking at particular, your adult relationships and how that was shaped by your early experiences in life, and really kind of dive into that. And, really it's an interactive type piece with a lot of reflection and a lot of exploration of what does it mean to kind of take a closer look at why you do the things you do from a lens of looking at, those early experiences that you had and how that shaped. So very excited. That's great. We haven't talked much about numbers. I was going to ask you.
Yeah, exciting, coming up here just about a month away.
Yeah, February.
Yeah,
right around like that Valentine's Day.
It'll be a good time to explore that and see how people, not only how they've been shaped, but how they've maybe shaped future generations, their families too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what else we got coming up in OLLI that's been kind of an exciting?
Well, one thing, we're trying something new. We've had a presenter that's worked with us for almost 10 years, almost as long as I have. He's a professor at Hope College, and he teaches every semester. His name is Fred Johnson, former military veteran, incredible professor of history. And we decided to try something new with him because we found out an interesting fact about him.
Okay.
Fred literally wrote the book on Tupac Shakur. And we said, you spent so many times talking about the Civil War era, presidents, and conflicts in the early 1900s. Let's move it forward a little bit. And he's doing a class over 6 weeks on the evolution of hip-hop music.
Oh, excellent, yeah.
So from the very origins of hip-hop music as a revolutionary style of music to a more modern and commercial aspect of the genre. So very interested to see how that is explored. He's such a great presenter. And we have another new presenter to us who's been an OLLI member before. Her name is Barbara Carville, and she is, her parents and her other family members were involved in World War II. Her father was actually a Nazi sympathizer, along with her grandparents and uncle. And she's going to be sharing her personal experience growing up in war-torn Germany and how her and her family fled as World War II came to a close. Now she fled from West Germany to East Germany and changed her entire life and came to the United States for a career in education. So both of those we're very excited about, but we have over 85 different offerings just this winter alone, bringing all different kinds of presenters to campus and virtually, trying to make sure that our program remains accessible for everyone, even those who are immobile or don't want to get out and drive in the snow. It's a chance to watch from the comfort of their own home.
Well, this is great, and I think if someone's interested, or maybe you're watching, the episode today, and say, I'd love to do something with OLLI, would they reach out to you directly?
Yeah, we make it easy. You can email us at OLLI, OLLI, @aquinas.edu.
Yep.
We look for members who are interested in taking classes. We look for people who are interested in presenting classes. We don't turn anyone away. There are no requirements to join us as long as you have an interest in continuing the passion of learning. And the only kind of pseudo requirement is being 15 over, but we've never turned anyone away for being younger and wanting to be a part of the program. So we look for alumni. You don't have to be an Aquinas alumni to join us, but we would love to have that connection reborn as an OLLI member. But we also look for presenters too. So people that have any type of interest. You don't have to be a professional presenter. You don't have to have credentials and letters after your name. We're just looking for someone who shares a passion that would be interested in sharing that with others.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today and talk about OLLI, but also talk about your journey. Before we go, though, we always like to do something where folks get to know our Aquinas community members a little more. So I'm going to throw some rapid fire questions at you.
Yes, I've prepared.
You've prepared. Okay. Well,
I've seen episodes of the show. I know what's going on. Okay.
So we're going to throw these out there and see how you respond.
Okay.
Okay. What's your favorite cheese?
Swiss.
Swiss, okay. Gloves or mittens?
Gloves.
Seem pretty confident with that answer.
I walked here with them, and I'm glad I did.
Okay, so you got gloves it is. Then.
Yes.
Okay. Favorite pizza?
I'm going to get in trouble for this. Just cheese.
Oh, nothing
I've
else?
always been plain cheese.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even extra
cheese.
just regular cheese.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that's not too plain, but
nope, that's
easy.
fair.
It's always the cheapest.
Your preference. And favorite ice cream?
Easily Moose Tracks ice cream.
Okay.
Since I was a kid. Peanut butter cups all the way.
It's been consistent throughout.
Consistent.
Okay.
My grandparents tried to get me with Neapolitan ice cream. My mother comes from a large Italian family, and that was always what was available, that and butter pecan. So I still have a soft spot for both of those, but Moose Tracks
up at the top.
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, when you think about elementary school, what's a significant memory that comes to mind?
Oh, boy. I remember as a kindergartner, I remember being really impressed with a kid that could color inside the lines.
Okay.
And I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And he did so well, he got to sit in this loft. You remember like in elementary school, you had like lofts that were built, and it was kind of like, they had bean bags in the bottom.
Yeah.
And he was such a good color, he got to sit in the top of the loft. And I was very jealous of that. So I got really good at coloring too, so I could sit in the loft, and it worked.
And it did. So
you
got to sit in the loft.
Yes. Probably really one of my earliest memories, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
We're excited that we had Ian here today. We're going to take a short break and come back, and we'll have our next guest here on Tuesdays with Terry. Welcome back to Tuesdays with Terry, episode 7, coming to you from our Home Dean Studios. We're excited this week that we have Mike Ingram with us. Mike, it's good to have you on the show.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I know we've tried to work out a date a little bit,
Yes.
so we're excited that this worked.
Glad we were able to finally make our schedules come together.
To have this moment. Yes. So one of the things is our guests that we always like to do is tell me a little bit about like your journey to Aquinas, because it was a journey here, then a journey kind of in between, and then back again.
And then leave and then back again.
And then back again.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So my first journey here would be when I started applying to school. So I'm a graduate of Aquinas. I graduated in 2015. I first started looking at colleges. I looked at Grand Valley. I looked at Carthage over in Wisconsin. But then ultimately decided I wanted to study theology. And with wanting to go into theology, I said, where are the Catholic schools? Where do I want to go? And Aquinas was the option. I toured campus. I'd been on campus a few times as a Catholic Central high school student, but did the full tour. And as soon as I completed the tour, like most people can say, it felt like home. It felt like the space to be, the place to be. And I came here as a student, had a great 4 years. And then I did. I left. I went to grad school at the University of Dayton. I got my master's in theological studies. And as I was finishing up my time there, I realized there was an opening in the Housing and Residence Life office. So with 2 degrees in theology, I said, Housing and Residence Life sounds like it's right up my alley.
You're like, I'm going to go for this.
I went for it. I spent 4 years as a student working in Housing and Residence Life, so it was a familiar office space. It was a good opportunity to come back to Grand Rapids and really to come back to Aquinas. So I spent 3 years working in Regina and St. Joe's and Ruby were specifically the buildings I oversaw, but the housing office used to be in the basement of Regina there. I did that for 3 years, and then I went to Ohio Dominican University, where I was in a combined position of campus ministry and housing. So I found my way into the ministry world, which was definitely a goal after undergrad and grad school. And then after about 15 months there, a year and a half during COVID, I came back to Grand Rapids again, came back to family, friends. Columbus was a good city to spend some time in, but ultimately not where I wanted to stay long term. So I found my way back to Aquinas, and I've been here for the last 4 academic years now. Time flies.
It does. It does. When you're having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we are having fun.
We are. So when you think about like your journey, and I know we've kind of briefly talked about it, is there a desire to go on and do a little more education?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I've often said I think the question is when, not if. I've definitely been a lifelong learner. I've always just been interested in learning. Now I'm sure some of my undergrad professors would say, he was an okay student. They wouldn't be wrong, but I've just always been interested. So I've looked at a master's in higher ed program. I've actually looked at a counseling degree program. And then I have looked at a couple of PhD programs. And they might still be down on the horizon someday, but that day's not today.
Yeah. And I think just our previous guest we've had on the show today was Ian.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing
Talk about
OLLI.
lifelong learning.
Yeah, we talked about lifelong learning, and you're doing a program.
Yeah, so I submitted a proposal. This spring is the 10-year anniversary of Laudato Si, Pope Francis's encyclical on care for our common home. And so with that, we're hoping to kind of relook at what have the last 10 years taught us about care for creation and Pope Francis's papacy, and have we accomplished the goals he set out in Laudato Si? Maybe not. There's still work to do.
So it'd probably be an interactive, engaging conversation, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. When you think about kind of that journey here, and now you're here, campus ministry, and folks, I know see you not only at different student events, but outside the classroom, at the athletic events, but also kind of right there outside the chapel.
Right.
And so tell me, Mike, a little bit about campus ministry and some of the things that you're excited for, this term. I know we have a great lineup of speakers coming to campus.
Yeah.
Kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think my approach to campus ministry has always been modeled after Jesus meeting the woman at the well. So standing outside the chapel, greeting folks as they come by, being at the athletic events, meeting the students where they are, and really kind of journeying with them to where they want to go, where they could be, and really experience the 4 years with them. So that's really kind of at the core of what campus ministry is here to do, is to walk with these students during their 4, 5, 6 years of time here, because they're going to do a lot of living during that time. They're going to have great successes, great triumphs, both in the classroom, on the athletic courts, fields, competition. They're also going to experience some sorrow and hardship.
Yeah.
We're seeing more and more folks experience grief in a new way, where folks are living longer, so grandparents are passing away when students are here at college for the first time. And campus ministry is here to support students through that as well. And by being that friendly, hopefully welcoming face that they know and love so well from outside the chapel, from Weggy, from Sturris, that then creates opportunity in those moments to really be there with those students and minister to them, and with the faculty and staff as well. As much as the athletes competing on the field is a triumph for the players, it's also a triumph for the coach and the athletics team as well. And so that's where campus ministry really kind of comes to life in the day-to-day.
Yeah.
We also have a whole slew of events each week. We've got our prayer night, praise and worship adoration. We have silent adoration each week, Mass 6 days a week, our infamous after Mass socials. Last night we had folks in Regina Lobby with cookies and donuts.
Okay.
Or, sorry, cookies and hot chocolate. Maybe I want a donut.
Maybe don't. It's
Next time.
Next time.
Donuts will be on the menu
Yeah.
coming to a Sunday social near you.
Yeah.
But really, it's trying to find ways to engage with students, and we do. We've got a great list of speakers for the 2025 year. So, academic year, we typically look at fall and spring semester, but within the church year, we've got the Year of Jubilee, which Pope Francis just opened December 24th. And so that will last for all of 2025. And we've got a great list of speakers coming up. We've got Sister Barbara Reed coming to campus in January, as well as Dr. John Panero. And then about every month during the academic year for the spring 25 and fall 25 semesters, we've got great dynamic speakers. And we've also got St. Thomas Aquinas Week during January. So celebrating the feast day of Thomas Aquinas, and we'll be sure to have some fun activities as well.
So I'm going to ask the question.
Yeah.
Is there cake?
So there will not be cake.
Oh, okay.
There's a big question there. Years and years ago, we used to celebrate and have birthday cake for Thomas Aquinas.
Okay.
But the fun trivia fact that everyone needs to know, so audience listeners, next time you're out at your favorite trivia, you'll know we don't actually know when Thomas Aquinas was born.
Okay.
We know roughly the year, roughly the location, but the specific date of his birth we don't know. So we celebrate his feast day, but it's not actually his birthday. So we'll have some sweet treats throughout the week. But maybe next year we'll bring back some feast day cake.
Feast day cake.
To replace the birthday
cake.
Cake. Feast week. There we go.
Yeah. So any opportunity for cake. I mean, we can.
I think we can fit that in.
Yeah. And I think seeing the schedule, it kind of looks like there's things throughout the week.
Absolutely.
Different times of the day and so forth. So it should be a great week here at Aquinas.
We'll start Monday morning with treats with Thomas in the lobby of AB, and then Saturday night there is a strolling medieval feast.
Oh, okay.
The Advantage Center, Bridget Avery is helping organize and plan that, and it's bound to be a really fun time. Followed up by the History Club's annual viewing of Monty Python.
Okay. This is perfect, yeah.
Fun will be had by all.
By all. So, well, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Our next segment, which I'm just going to introduce and then turn it over to you, is our Biscuits Corner.
Yes.
And I hear this is a different take on Biscuits Corner.
Slightly different take.
So I'm going to send it over to you.
Thank you. I caught it.
And
I've got it.
Yeah, good, good.
So I do not currently have a pet. I grew up with dogs my whole life.
Yeah.
So we always had dogs at my mom's house. I love dogs. I am not responsible enough to leave work on time to get home and feed and walk a dog. So I do not currently have a dog.
Okay.
I do have a side hustle where I dog sit pretty often.
Okay.
This past weekend, I was dog sitting for Daisy. She's an adorable black lab. She's great. We love Daisy. We also like it when Daisy goes home, and then I can go back to my day-to-day.
Yep.
But since I don't have a Biscuits Corner, I didn't want to lose the chance to keep talking with you and miss out on some valuable time with the Provost.
Okay.
And in the spirit of St. Francis.
Oh, yes.
So you came from a Franciscan school.
From a Franciscan school,
before coming back to a Dominican school.
Yes.
And I, know that St. Francis has an affection for creatures and dogs and animals.
Yes.
He also met St. Dominic.
Oh, okay.
And so gifted to you for your office.
Oh, well, thank you.
I have a framed picture of the meeting of St. Francis and St. Dominic.
Oh, perfect.
And in the background, you'll see both a city and a rural country landscape. You'll see some animals in the foreground. And you'll really get to see kind of the different approaches of Francis and Dominic through their ministry and their work depicted in the scene.
Oh, this is perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. And very fitting.
Very fitting.
For Biscuits Corner. And we'll place this right here.
Perfect.
We'll have it. Oh, this is perfect.
And for those watching at home, the framed picture it's of an oil painting done by Angelo Lyon in the 17th century, during the second half of the 17th century. And the original currently hangs in a basilica in Venice.
Oh, excellent.
So you've got a little bit of Italy right here
Right here.
in the Home Dean studio.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. That's
You're
very
welcome.
fitting for Biscuits Corner as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Daisy had a blast.
She did.
She did. Yep. And maybe did not want to leave.
No.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. This is very fitting for that Franciscan Dominican change that I've been doing this past year. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, well, absolutely. It's great to be back.
Good.
So as we think about, one of the conversations we had is around, I just got to acknowledge as well, your help with me in learning about swim. Like, the actual, going and visiting, supporting our student athletes for swim. And you had a tie to swim.
Yes. Yep.
That you prepped me well for the temperature.
Yes.
Yes.
Even in the cold January months, if you're going to a swim and dive competition, dress for the temperature of the pool, not the temperature of the outdoors, because
Yes.
the stands in the pool are quite a bit warmer than the outside to help balance out the coldness of the water for the swimmers.
Yeah, and it was spot on.
Yeah.
As soon as I walked through those doors. Absolutely. And it was your dad?
Yeah, my dad was an assistant swim coach for
Okay.
a number of years, both in Lansing, but then also here at East Grand Rapids as well.
Okay. Excellent. So I know this is a favorite, and you said you're going to be ready
I'm ready.
for kind of the rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
And you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Fire away.
Fire away. For that we will. Your favorite ice cream?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I don't like ice cream. That's
At
a hot
all.
take.
Oh,
I know.
Wow. Okay.
I know. Controversial. You heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
I really don't like
Ingram,
ice cream.
Not a fan of ice cream.
No.
Favorite fried chicken place?
Favorite fried chicken place is going to be Cousin's Tasty Chicken on the corner of Leonard and Fuller. If you haven't been, you've got to try it. Best fried chicken in town.
This is a ringing endorsement. And what I want to say, this ringing endorsement
Yeah.
from Mike has come on a regular basis.
Regular basis.
And I haven't yet,
No.
but I need to. The one night we were at a basketball game and it went too close to
Yeah.
close for me to go. But
And the next day, I went and got it for lunch.
you got it for lunch. I'm very curious. I'm glad to report back on this one. Favorite cookie?
Snickerdoodle.
That's confident in that. Yeah. Gloves or mittens?
Gloves.
Okay, again, our previous guest, Ian, was very confident in gloves. Anything, any reason particular that it's no on the mittens?
Yeah, I get that a lot of folks will say the mittens keep your hands warmer. I'm not really ever that cold, and I love the functionality of being able to still use my fingers and grasp things and pick things up. And I, of course, have the fancy E-tip gloves, so I can still use my phone with them.
Oh,
and
perfect, yeah.
It's good.
Your favorite season?
Favorite season's fall, all the way.
All the
if we
way?
could have fall year round, I would be thrilled.
So it's not the roasting hot temperature.
No.
It's kind of the in-between, the leaves are turning.
Yeah.
That's your favorite.
It's my favorite.
So not winter.
Fall, winter is second.
Oh,
it would
winter
go
is second.
Fall,
Okay.
winter, spring, summer.
Okay, summer's at the end though.
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. When another one we'll ask is if you could leave right now.
Yeah. This is so stressful.
This is a stressful one, but
Yeah.
you've seen this one before.
I have. I came
If you-
prepared.
If you could leave right now, go to the airport, get a plane ticket. Cost is not a factor, but you had to leave today. Where would you go?
I would go to London.
Okay.
Yeah, I love London. I've been fortunate enough to go a couple of times. I really loved just the old buildings, the old architecture, everything about it I enjoy. So London is my final answer.
Okay. When we think about travel, we had lots of travel conversations. We also have to dive into your memory with our last question here.
Yeah,
So your most memorable elementary school experience?
yeah. So that's going to be all the way back to second grade.
Oh, second grade. Okay.
End of second grade, me and a couple of friends, other students, on the last day of classes, stayed sitting in our desks and said, heck no, we won't go, because we didn't want to go to third grade.
Okay.
Because we liked our second grade teacher, Mr. Bogdan, so much.
Okay.
The third grade teacher was also wonderful. We just didn't know that yet. So
You didn't know that yet. So
No.
you set in
we sat in.
and didn't make it happen
Yeah.
as much as you could control it.
As much as I can control it. And then just a few months later, there I was in third grade. with Miss
With-
Valerie Williams, who is also an Aquinas alumni.
Okay.
And I get to see each year at homecoming. So shout out to Miss Williams.
Excellent. Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us
Thank you.
here on the show. And, we'll connect and keep posted and have folks look forward to later this month some St. Thomas Aquinas Week
Absolutely.
events. And also, don't forget our daily Mass schedule as well. And we will continue to keep folks updated on happenings here at Aquinas. It's been a pleasure to have you on this episode of Tuesdays with Terry. Episode 7, we're coming right along. If you're interested on being on the show, feel free to reach out and we'll definitely get something set up for you to come on and share all things Aquinas, what is happening and what we have here on campus to look forward to, and outside of our traditional campus as well, what Aquinas is being engaged with and interested in happening here in the city, in the state, in the region, and throughout the world. Lots of great things happening at Aquinas College. So until next time, it's a thank you for watching Tuesdays with Terry, and we'll see you next time.